Yo, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm going to be giving my honest review of the Shattered Veil. And I know in the last video, which was, I don't know how long ago that was, I said I was basically done with zombies, but I am back to give my honest review of the Shattered Veil. And I can already say that this map is night and day compared to the Tomb. The Tomb was complete garbage. That is not a secret to anyone. We all know that map was terrible. I ripped that map to shreds, and the Shattered Veil is honestly 10 times better than that map. This map is actually really good, but I will be giving my positives about this map and obviously the cons, negatives for this map, as there are a good balance of in between. Now, I'm not going to say this map is the greatest map of all time, but it's, I would say, one of the better BO6 maps. So let's go ahead. I'm going to talk about the positives, and then we'll go with the negatives after that. And the first thing I want to point out with the positives is the final boss fight for this map, the Z-Rex. I did not think they were actually going to make the final boss the T-Rex. A lot of people thought, including myself, that the final boss was going to be like the big AI Samantha thing. But no, they actually did the T-Rex, which is honestly incredible. I have to say this is probably one of the best looking boss fights we have ever gotten, in my opinion, and it's probably one of the coolest boss fights we have ever gotten. And honestly, I would put it up there as probably one of the top 3 best bosses that we have ever gotten. I don't think it's better than the Terminus boss. I absolutely love the Terminus boss fight. I don't think it's better than that, but I think this boss fight has a good balance of difficulty and just overall was just really fun fight, and I enjoyed it a lot. And now, another positive that I have were the ending cutscenes and the cutscenes with Richtofen. I am so glad we are finally getting to meet with Richtofen. We are finally getting some story information with Richtofen. It took way too long for him to get introduced, actually face to face with him. I feel like we should have gotten that on like Terminus, or even even in like Cold War. And I know Cold War was kind of set up to reveal that Richtofen was back, but in the end, I am glad that we're finally seeing him and getting some dialogue and some cutscenes with him. And he is insane in this map. He is really good. I'm glad Nolan North is back as the voice actor. That is a huge W in my opinion. And man, it is good to see him come back, and I'm very excited to see him in the Janus Towers map that is going to be in the next DLC map. I don't know if Janus Towers will be the final DLC map. It kind of feels like Janus Towers might end up being the final DLC map, but I don't know. We'll have to see in the future. But so far, Richtofen and the cutscenes for this map were amazing. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the map setup. The map setup isn't really too crazy. It's very easy in my opinion, and honestly isn't really all that hard compared to like Terminus or Citadel. You basically just go down an elevator and that's it, and you get Pack-a-Punch. Getting the ray guns isn't hard. I actually like getting the ray gun for like the free Mark II wonder weapon. I think that's pretty cool. The upgrades are really fun. I actually like the upgrades for the ray gun Mark II. My only problem is that it's reused assets. I'm not a huge fan. I think this map would be ranked higher for me if there was like an original wonder weapon and not the ray gun Mark II or the Wunderwaffe. But I still think the ray gun Mark II and the Wunderwaffe are still fun to use, and all the upgrades with it are fun to get. I always like that kind of style map for zombies where you have to do these quests for the upgrades for the wonder weapons. And I think for the ray gun Mark II, it's pretty good. I think it's pretty fun. It flows well with the map. But my only problem is that it's a reused asset. Now, I don't think the ray gun Mark II and the upgrades are all that crazy. I don't think they're all that overpowered. I think my favorite one, if I had to choose, was the shotgun one. All the other ones were just not really that crazy in my opinion, but I still think they were kind of fun to use. But compared to something like, the staffs or the ones on Alpha Omega, I don't think these ones are better at all. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the new boss, the Elder Disciple. I think this new boss is probably one of the better bosses that we've gotten in modern zombies. He's not too hard to kill. He doesn't spawn in that much, I feel like, at least for me when I played. The boss spam on this map wasn't that crazy compared to, like Liberty Falls or Terminus or even Citadel. I don't think the boss spam was as bad. It still is a little bad in my opinion, but I just think that's a Black Ops 6 problem and not like the map itself. And that also brings me to my next point. I feel like this map would be so much better if it was on like BO3 or BO2. I feel like for me personally, BO6 like core mechanics isn't really all that good, and it's just, I'm very tired of like the Cold War gameplay. I feel like if this map was on BO3 or BO2 or even like BO4, honestly, I'm gonna say I feel like if this map was on BO4, I feel like it would be better. I think the BO4 mechanics were better than Cold War mechanics. I am gonna say it. You can say what you want, but I believe BO4 mechanics are better than Cold War. I'm not a huge fan of the armor, the rarities, and all that. I just don't like it. But now let's get into the negatives, and there are quite a few negatives for this map, I won't lie. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Easter egg. The Easter egg is not that good. The only thing that is good going for it is the final boss. Everything else is just not that good. I like the idea of, doing these 3 rituals. It kind of reminds me of like Shadows of Evil in a way, but the like steps of doing it up until like, you do the, ritual boss, it's just not that good. I don't like it. It's very boring, and it just wasn't really all that interesting to me. And I just thought the Easter egg was very bad up until obviously the final boss. The final boss absolutely carried this Easter egg. If the final boss wasn't the T-Rex, I think this Easter egg would be probably one of the worst Easter eggs we have ever gotten, in my opinion. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the map layout. And I have said this in the Tomb and all my reviews for the BO6 maps. The map layout is so boring. It is so plain. I feel like we get the same map formula every single time. And what I mean by that, and I might even make a video about this formula in another video, the D-Machine formula. And what I mean by that is that you start in a spawn room, you got 2 doors, 2 lanes, meet in the middle, and it does it again. And it kind of makes like a, I guess like as an 8. I don't know how to explain it. Does like an 8 and then it meets back in the spawn. We have seen this in almost every single map since Cold War. The only time we haven't seen that layout is probably Firebase Z and I forgot what that map was, Forsaken. And other than that, we have seen it in Terminus. The only thing different about Terminus is that it has the islands, but the islands are just not really, interesting or have any meaning other than if you're doing the Easter egg. But other than that, there's no reason to go to them. I'm very tired of this layout. I might make another video talking about this because I think it's a huge problem and it's just very boring. And another thing about this map layout is that the traversals are abysmal. There are no traversals other than on like each end from the spawn room and then where like the double tap room is with the elevator. There's no like middle part like in the mansion that can lead you to the middle. I wish there was, like where the dinosaur area is, it could take you down to like, I don't know, where that like tunnel is. I feel like there's a traversal there that would be so much better. But the traversals on this map are a huge L in my opinion. Now, another thing I want to talk about is that I feel like with this map, it has really shown me that Zombies needs a new formula beyond getting like Pack-a-Punch, getting the wonder weapon, and doing the Easter eggs. We need to see something new or something that builds off of that, something beyond that. Because right now, every map right now just kind of feels the same. Nothing really has an identity. Like, the only map that actually feels very different is Terminus because it has like a boat and you could go to these different islands. And I wish Terminus really kind of like built off of that idea, because they honestly didn't really, and I feel like that's where Terminus kind of failed. But right now, Shattered Vale just feels like another Zombies map. Nothing feels, super crazy. Nothing like sticks out to me other than the dinosaur boss fight. That's it. Nothing is, nothing makes it unique in my opinion. I think that's what made Origins and Mob of the Dead so special and unique when they came out, is because we have never seen anything like that when they came out. We have never seen an Afterlife mode when Mob of the Dead came out. We have never seen a map where we get 4 wonder weapons and they all have their unique quests when Origins came out. We need to see something on that level I don't know what it could be, but we need some innovation within the newer zombie maps. I highly doubt we'll ever see that within Janus Towers, but this is something that needs to be, worked on in the next Zombies game, whatever that could be. BO7, BO2 remaster. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they do in the next Call of Duty Zombies game I think that should be the focus, is trying to expand beyond that formula and actually add in some innovation and not try to follow the same formula, which I get it. The formula is good, but you know what they say, pizza is good, right? Pizza's good, but if you eat pizza every day, you're gonna be very tired and fat and obese, and you're probably gonna just die. And right now, we're eating a shit ton of pizza, and I am wanting a fucking burger. I think that's the best explanation I can give for Call of Duty Zombies right now, because every map just feels the same and is honestly just getting stale and boring in my opinion. And I think in the next Zombies game, that is something that they really need to focus on. But I'm gonna stop yapping. If I had to give this map a rating, like out of 10, I think I would probably give it like a solid 7 out of 10, which is a lot better than, what the Tomb did. I mean, the Tomb I would probably give like a fucking 1 out of 10. That map was abysmal in my opinion. And I think this is definitely one of the better BO6 Zombies maps. It's honestly, I don't know, I think this map is like the definition of mid, which honestly is not a bad thing. Being mid is not bad, guys. Being mid is not bad. I think after the honeymoon phases is over, this is just going to be another mid map in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think it's better than Citadel or Terminus, but I do think it's better than Liberty Falls and the Tomb. It's just a, average map in my opinion. And I think right now, that is not what Zombies needs. We need something more than average, but I'm not shitting on this map. I do think this map is good. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.